Welcome to the Creepin' It Real Show, your one-stop shop for weird news, spooky, and otherworldly and paranormal shenanigans. We'll take a dive into what's going on in creepy pop culture. You can follow Creepin' It Real Show on Twitter at creepin_it. You can email us at creepinitrealshow@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, creepinitrealshow.com.
Woohoo! Hello, creepers. This is Miss Moni, and welcome to the Creepin' It Real Show. With me today are my brilliant co-hosts, depending on how sober we all are. How about you, Miss Christy? How you doing?
I'm first? Oh, hi. I am not sober-ish. I'm sober-ish. I had a bad day today.
Adjacent.
Yeah, I had a really bad day. It's okay. It happens. It is a Monday, and this is a little out of the norm, but it's all solved with wine, apparently, which is fantastic for me. So I'm happy to be here, excited to talk about some really fun shit, and yeah, that's about it.
Can we just call this episode Really Fun Shit?
Absolutely. Why not?
Speaking of really fun, a really fun person, Mr. Yardley, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's always a pleasure to talk pop culture and everything else under the sun with you ladies. So I can't complain. The days has been not bad. You know, as Christy said, it's a Monday, but I'm pulling through.
I mean, the skies, at least, I was a little confused yesterday when I got up, because I got up a little late. It was a Sunday, and we slept in, and I walk into the kitchen, and our kitchen's kind of bright without light on, and so I walk out there, and there's like, something happened outside, and it looked like the sky was on fire, and there was like this orb in the sky, and it was really bright, and I kept looking out there and going, what is it?
I see where this is going.
It's the sun. Holy shit. Dude, we were in my kitchen, and Rick was like, I think I need sunglasses. Like, I'm not joking you. That's how long it's been since the sun has come out here.
You've got that seasonal affective disorder. You're all sad and shit.
Like, our eyes were all, like, seriously, it was so bizarre. I'm like, wow, that was crazy to know that that's how long it's been, that our eyes actually burned from the blue sky and sunshine. And by the way, Yardley, your freaking first post about news gave me the nightmares last night.
Yeah.
Not to take away from Moni's hosting, but holy shit, it really did. I had a nightmare about the thingy that's orange that has the symbol. So
all right. So rolling into the thingy, yes. Yardley, tell us about this.
Well, yeah. So Hanna-Barbera's Banana Split series is going to be revised as a horror movie. And the synopsis is the film will bring back the classic characters that were first introduced to audiences back in 1968, which was called the Banana Splits Adventure Hour variety program. Now, I remember this because it was in syndication, when I was growing up. So I'm familiar with the Banana Splits. And I think, Christy, she is talking about Bingo, which is like the orange gorilla that has the permanent smile on its face.
Yes, and the weird glasses. Yes.
It's so terrifying, but I think that the show, if I remember correctly, I think that those animals were mimicking like the monkeys or something. It was kind of a riff on that.
Oh, okay.
And they always had music and things like that. But for me, I agree with you. It was the monkey because no matter what happened, it had that big grin on its face, and it's very, it's quite haunting. Now let's jump into what it's going to be about. So, in the upcoming horror thriller, apparently a boy named Harley and his family, with his brother Austin, mother Beth, and father Mitch, attend a taping of the Banana Splits TV show, which is supposed to be a fun-filled birthday for young Harley and business as usual for Rebecca, who's a producer on the series. But things take an unexpected turn and the body count quickly rises. Can Harley, his mom, and their new pals safely escape? I think that is a great premise, and those and it's funny, I mean, obviously I think with her being a producer on the show, I don't think that whatever's going to happen are going to be people, dressed up like the animals. Because I think it was a monkey, a lion, a beagle, and an elephant.
Yeah.
And I know that there's going to be some creepiness with that. I could totally see at some point somebody gets killed while the other person is wearing those suits. But the banana splits, they were kind of a freaky, scary group of animals.
They're like
it was just
Yo
weird.
Gabba Gabba. I don't know if you guys have seen Yo Gabba Gabba. I know Moni has had to have seen Yo Gabba Gabba. They're basically the Yo Gabba Gabba of me and Yardley, even before our time. And I love Yo Gabba Gabba, but I'm not on board with this one. No.
You didn't like their music? Because, when we were growing up, a lot of shows incorporated music, into it.
Yeah, but it was old music, and that made them kind of creepy for me. Like, I wasn't down with them very much. So I was perusing the document last night and then went to bed and had a nightmare about Bingo. I did. And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask Moni, are you familiar with banana splits, or does the imagery kind of ring a bell to you in any way?
I'm not familiar with the banana splits. I do know a little bit of Hanna-Barbera, but by the time I was kind of old enough to have that like memory awareness, that was kind of even antiquated, like the animations that they did. But I'm very familiar with the Chuck E. Cheese characters, those animatronic. Yes. I don't even know. I think they still have them, actually. And these kind of remind me of those. And those, even as a kid, scared the shit out of me because I was certain with those big smiles, like you were saying, like they never stop smiling, those big old eyes. And the eyes go back and forth, and I was certain there was like a serial killer like inside of there that was just waiting for the right moment. So I could totally see having nightmares over this.
Yeah.
They already got me scared. I didn't even put a show out.
It's totally freaky. Now, well, at least this is something that we can probably get excited about. So Netflix has renewed the horror series Haunting of Hill House from Mike Flanagan and Trevor Macy, but with a little bit of a twist to it. So apparently the drama will become an anthology with a second installment chronicling a whole new story with all new characters. Its title was revealed to be The Haunting of Bly Manor. So I think all of us really enjoyed Haunting of Hill House. Is this something that you're excited about?
Hell yeah. I just wish it was not in 2020. I wish it was like this summer or something.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, if they can do even a third of what they did with the last one, it will be worth watching. I mean, the first one was amazing. I think it was groundbreaking as far as horror and series go. So if they can do what they did before, I'm totally down with it.
Yeah, and I don't mind it being, in 2020 because I want to make sure that they have all the time that they need to produce the content that we had before. So, but I've got faith. I mean, they've got a lot of goodwill on their side based on the reception of Haunting of Hill House. So I definitely wish them luck because I'm going to watch it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now to some news so nice it was posted on our Facebook twice. Let's talk about the documentary Pennywise, the story of it. So via Bloody Disgusting, it talks about with over 50 interviews with cast and crew and over 700 never-before-seen photos from the production. This fan-funded documentary from director Chris Griffiths aims to tell the story heard by few and showcase a wealth of behind-the-scenes footage and photos seen by even fewer. So from exploring the historical and cultural phenomenon of coulrophobia, which is the fear of clowns, to Tim Curry's magical portrayal of Pennywise the Clown, to the impact of Vancouver, a.k.a. Hollywood North, what had on the 1990 made-for-TV miniseries. The story of it will dig deeper into the Pennywise phenomenon than anything ever has before. Now, we posted the link to it's about a 6-minute, isn't it about 6 minutes or something like that? Little trailer for it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that I would love to check out because the access that they had and the people that they're interviewing. And it's also good to see Tim Curry because he had a stroke back in 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
But you can tell by the way his eyes light up when he's in this documentary talking about it. He looks so rejuvenated, invigorated, talking about this. That makes it even more interesting for me.
I wish he could be involved in some capacity in the new It movies. I know it's probably difficult for him, but he was so freaking awesome. Just lending his voice to something would be amazing, you know?
Yeah, it would be great. And it's good to see him out, still getting after it and doing things. And, it's funny because having saw the recent iteration of it actually made me kind of go back and revisit some of the things that were in the book that I have on my my little ebook reader or whatever. But also, I went back and rewatched the TV series. It was 3 episodes. I think it was like 3 hours long or whatever. And there's a lot of great stuff to appreciate in those 3 hours. You expect going back to get super cheese, and there are parts that are kind of cheesy. But all in all, they told a real thorough story, and actually, all of the characters got their due as far as character development is concerned. Yeah. Even more so than, the one that just came out a couple of years ago. So I look forward to this. I'm not really sure how we'll get access to it. Did either of you see anything in the article that said anything about what it would be playing on or how it's going to get released?
I mean, it's possible I saw something. It's possible I even watched the 6-minute video that you're talking about. I was in Vegas all weekend, and I don't remember.
She's burned all those cells.
So that is how that got posted twice. I don't remember doing that either, but it says I did. So there you go. Yes. What was the question again?
We're going to have to retrain Moni.
Yeah. What is hosting? Why?
Who am I?
Totally. You've totally got a pass.
We'll give Yardley the same one after Mardi Gras.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but it is up on the Facebook page, so everybody go and check it out.
Awesome. Hey, real quick before I talk about my weird news, have either one of you seen Personal Shopper on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay, I watched it. I don't get it. I just wondered if y'all had seen it. I don't get it. It's supposed to be a horror movie. It's got Kristen Stewart, and everybody is just all about it. And I'm like, okay, and it's not a bad movie, but I don't understand the ending, and I'm just gonna lay it out there and say I'm stupid and I just don't get it. Like I'm like, what happened? I don't understand it. Like I haven't Googled it yet, and I've wanted to, but I have had the craziest day today, and I just haven't had an opportunity. I watched it late last night, and so I just didn't get to do it. But I was like, huh? So anybody.
I'm sure there's
Kristen Stewart is in it, then it's a thinking person's movie, a la Twilight. Okay,
a lot of her boobies are on there, and
to me, like I've seen her in person. She's a fucking zero, sorry, but also
she's a tiny little thing.
She's gonna be a Charlie's Angel. Don't hate on that.
Oh, what? Wait, what?
They wanted someone completely plain
to
be a Charlie's Angel.
A Charlie's Angel?
No, thank you. Hard pass.
What about? Never mind.
I think it's the one that Elizabeth Banks is doing. She's like directing or producing the new Charlie's Angels, and I could have sworn that it said that she was in it. But anyway,
I got to see a lot of her boobies, and they're adorable. They're very small, and I thought that was a wonderful thing. I'm actually kind of jealous of her boobies, but I never understood the ending. I was like, I don't get it at all, and I'm very mad at myself because everybody who's a think peace person online who loves horror is all about this movie. So please, for the love of God, anybody who's listening to this, get onto our Twitter and explain to me what the fuck it's called, what that's about. Personal Shopper.
Personal Shopper. All right.
And I'm going to totally butcher this guy's name, even though I love him, but Guillermo
del Toro?
Thank you, yes. Listed it as one of his top ghost stories.
Right. That list is bomb. I'm going to check out a lot of those.
Top ghost story. One in them, in the top 10. And I'm like, well, fuck, I saw this thing on Netflix. I need to check this out. And I did, and I'm like, okay, it was good. And I I followed it. And I'm thinking the ending is just going to be dope. And I did not understand the ending.
Maybe you have to be on dope to understand it.
Maybe I didn't have enough my CBD gummies and shit. I don't know. Maybe I need to pop a few more. Me a little CBD, CBD, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't get it. But anyway, I just wondered if you guys had seen it because I was very afraid to say I didn't like it because maybe it went over my head. So you guys all chime in.
Can you explain this cold case situation while I mute to sneeze? Okay.
Go ahead. Well, I'm going to ask a question, so you sneeze, but I'll ask Yardley. Before I talk about this case in particular, what are your thoughts, Yardley, about giving your DNA to a family tracing ancestry site that possibly would use this to solve a cold case murder?
Well, it's not something that I have been considering, but don't you have to sign a waiver to let people release that, or is that just part of the contract that they'll be able to sell your stuff?
Depending on the company, once they have your shit, they own your
They
shit.
own
You
your
have to
DNA,
read the fine print. Yep.
And here's the deal:
my DNA and didn't do mine.
There's a lot of people up in arms about this, and I'm kind of like, why? Who cares? Like, look,
they can make a fucking like clone of you, and you won't even know, dude.
We're like 50 years ahead. If they want to clone me, by all means, in 50 years, make me hot again. Good God, do it. I was hot, okay? I am not hot right now, so do it. Now, I don't got nothing to hide, so I'm trying to figure out why everybody is so offended by this case because it's one of a first. So I'm asking you guys. What if Uncle Yardley's whatever aunt, uncle, blah, 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 after you did your DNA test is found to be a murderer? Like, would you be mad or would you be like, well, thank God the family's got closure and shit on him for being, or her for being a murderer?
Well, I mean, they did it. You know,
right.
If it's something that they did, that's not really. Yeah, I mean, that's not on. That's not on me.
But you're not mad for them using your personal property to solve a murder.
I'm just trying to find out.
Are you related to Braveheart? That's all you want to know. Am I related to Braveheart or not? I mean, that's.
So I'm just. I wouldn't be upset because at the end of the day, that person did whatever that led investigators to go through this process. But this is just one more example of it's getting harder and harder to do shit because there's so many ways now.
Totally.
Yeah, that's why whenever I see people like robbing liquor stores or trying to rob banks and shit, I'm like, or trying to get in a high-speed chase and get away. I'm like, why? Like, you're not...
Drones, helicopters chasing your asses? Come on.
You can't...
Everything has cameras. Everything... I saw this meme that was pretty funny. It was like, 1950s. I better not say that or the police will wiretap my phone.
Yes.
And then they're like talking to Google Home or whatever. They're like, hey, wiretap, what's the recipe for apple
pancakes?
Pie? Like,
It's like and honestly, if you have a problem with it, I guess in my head you have something to hide. I don't know. And anyway, so this is an interesting case. I think it's going to be a breakthrough case for this type of thing. Is Colorado man, he's 72 years old, is arrested from a 1973 cold case murder of an 11-year-old California girl. This is quite the fucking title, by the way. This is the title of this article. Who was strangled to death as she walked home from school after he's linked to crime by samples submitted through genealogical site Family Tree DNA, which is actually Ancestry DNA. But this is a UK website, so they don't understand that Ancestry is Family Tree. So one of his family members submitted DNA testing to find their family or to look up their DNA, and they solved a cold case by it. Colorado man, James Allen Neal, 72. I would love to do at certain point, because I think this is just the first of these, do a show on this kind of shit, because this is going to be really interesting how this plays out. James Allen Neal, 72, was arrested in the decades-old murder case of an 11-year-old California girl named Linda Ann O'Keefe. He was arrested in Colorado Springs on Tuesday at 6:29 a.m. Okay. Linda was walking home from school on July 6th, 1973, when she was taken, strangled to death, and her body left in a ditch. His DNA was taken from the crime scene, which... They took that and they had no idea that was not even an option back then. How crazy is that? Took her DNA, had no idea, and it just took a hit on this family match in January after a submission to genealogical site Family Tree DNA. Oh, apparently that is. I thought it was like Ancestry.com. Neil faces charges of murder and kidnapping with the intent of lewd and lascivious.
Yeah, that word. Malicious. Let's go with malicious.
Malicious acts with a child and her brutal killing. There were no leads in the case until July 7th, 2018, 45 years after she was found. Cops released the images based on DNA of the suspected killer, showing what he might have looked like in 1973 and what he would look like now. How crazy is that? Wow.
Yeah, those phenotype reports are pretty crazy. This was on the regular news. I think like a week ago, because I recognized the bag because they're showing all of these shots of some of the young girl's belongings, and and that bag has stuck in my mind since I had heard about this. This sucks. I mean, to me, I don't give a damn how old you are, though. It's just something about messing with children that just pisses me off. It's just so.
It's like dogs. Like you can kill 1,000 old dudes, but when you kill a dog, I will come at you. And same thing with kids. I mean, that's
why when they go to prison, it's so much worse for these, child rapists and murderers because of this kind of stuff.
You have a picture of her with her little Girl Scout uniform. It's sick. It's so sick. And I can't, if you get mad about this, how do you get mad at that? At least now this family knows, who it was. There's some peace there. It doesn't matter how long ago after the crime. I don't understand how people can get angry after a certain point, the man coming down on you, I get it. But shit like this, take my DNA. If there's somebody I know related into a murder, good God. I got no problems with that. Sorry.
I would look forward to having this as a show topic, because coming from a different perspective, people who are adopted and don't necessarily want to know their parents, or vice versa, the parents don't want to know their kids. There's a lot of implications that this DNA stuff can bring. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of different avenues that this can go down that aren't necessarily the expected intentions of using this. So it'll be an interesting topic for sure.
Well, that's an interesting topic that you bring up, because my brother, who is my half brother, doesn't know who his father is, and we think we know him, and we think we've reached out to him, but he will not respond. And the whole crazy, it's a long story, but yeah, I'm not opposed to using DNA for that either. I'll fucking go down there and find him and find a cigarette butt or his old ass Q-tip or something and take it and get it fucking tested just to know, so my brother can know. Just know. Yeah. He wasn't adopted. He just never had a father. And my mother was too psychotic to release any kind of control over him to even let him know who his father was. So this guy could be a piece of shit or not, but that's the thing. I think sometimes DNA can set you free, and whether you want to be or not, no matter the responsibility, whether it's a murder or whatever. People are so obsessed with other pieces of pregnancy, but we don't really look at this, and that's kind of something that my poor brother is dealing with. So anyway, moving on. I just found it really fascinating, because I really do feel like this is going to be a huge piece of solving murders and crimes in the future, with people submitting their DNA for, just fun. And then finding out grandma killed somebody in 1920.
That'd be amazing.
But I really think that's what's going to start happening here, is there's going to be this overload of DNA, and, what do you do with that? So anyway, just wanted to get y'all's opinion on how you would appreciate grandma killing somebody in 1920. That's what I'm
saying. Don't nobody want to be like, damn, grandma going to jail and she deserve it, but I'm going to miss them motherfucking dumplings.
Exactly. Well, Grandma got good dumplings,
goes
but
hard.
Or
just rolling. Well, on a completely different topic, did either or both of you guys get a chance to watch the Legends of the Lost?
Yes, I did.
Did not?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Did.
I did not, and it's 100% my fault, Moni. My weekend, John Marston and that fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 just took over.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just didn't, but until I was going through the show notes, and I was like, oh shit, because I had Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this before, like I was like, oh yeah, I got Amazon Prime, and then of course, our reschedule and everything.
It's all good. Yeah. So, and I was trying to schedule it in. I got it watched late last night and hardly paid attention, but we didn't need it for this, so it'll work out.
Oh, I enjoyed it thoroughly, you guys. Damn.
Oh, I thought it was really interesting. And Megan Fox is the host of this. I don't think I mentioned that. She is like, she's a fucking alien being. Like the whole time I was watching this.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that.
Look at her face. That's not a real person. Like, oh my God.
She's so hot that it doesn't look real. Does that make sense? I'm
blind now because she's so beautiful. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't care if she's smart or not. I just would stare at her and drool. It's fine.
And I get that she's trying to turn it into I'm smart too, motherfuckers. But God damn, I'm like.
Those poor scientists were probably like
they're just staring at her like I'm trying to speak.
They were like, I'm trying to be science, but also have boner. Like, this is difficult.
I haven't seen her since the Transformer movie.
Oh no!
So the only thing, so the last time I saw her was that, and sadly enough, she was she was good looking. I was like, who the fuck fixes cars wearing that shit? That's what I remember saying. But I'm like, it's her.
Think about the 12-year-old boys who are writers and directors of these things. They intertwine. They're like, and then there's a hot chick, and she's fixing cars, but in a skirt. Like,
hey, that $1 billion though, so obviously it worked.
I don't knock it.
You know what? I don't even care about any of that. She's just fucking hot. Like, I just was like, even trying to learn about giants. I'm like, God damn. How can somebody be this pretty? How does this exist?
30s or is she still in her 20s? She has to be in her 30s.
She's in her 30s. But it's that even her makeup. I'm like looking at her makeup. I'm trying to like figure it out. She just is flawless. Flawless.
She is. And she's older than I am. She's had, I think, an extra kid than I have. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I have no excuses. Anyway.
I mean, Brian Austin Green must be doing something. I don't know.
They're not together no more.
No, they are. They're just divorced but together. Kind of like my setup, girl.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, the whole topic of this specific episode and of this show, the overarching theme of the show is our ancient giants real?
Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and say in other kinds of animals, they absolutely are, and that is proven. But I want to run through this, and then we're going to get to my kind of hypotheses for the whole thing and see what y'all think about that. So, Yardley, go ahead and start us off.
All right, giants from Latin and ancient Greek, gigas, are beings of human appearance, but of prodigious size and strength common in the mythology and legends of many different cultures. The word giant, first attested in 1297, was derived from gigantus of Greek mythology. In various Indo-European mythologies, gigantic peoples are featured as primeval creatures associated with chaos and the wild nature, and they are frequently in conflict with the gods, be they Olympian, Celtic, Hindu, or Norse. Giants are often play similar roles in the mythologies and folklores of other non-Indo-European peoples, such as the Narsian traditions. There are also accounts of giants in the Old Testament. Some of these are called Nephilim, a word often translated as giant, although this translation is not universally accepted.
I am going to say real quickly, and Christy, you're going to be like, why do you give me these words? So we're going to butcher some words here, get on our crazy train or jump off now, because there's a lot of pronunciation and a lot of intoxication. So
I'm going to
go ahead, Christy.
and pronunciate Kate. All right, I'm ready. According to National Geographic, whew, that was a big word. In 2012, the first complete ancient skeleton of a person with giganticism has been discovered near Rome. But when? Okay, I'll keep reading. I'm like, 2012, it was discovered from when, though? Okay, at 6 feet, 8 inches tall, the man would have been a giant in 3rd century AD Rome. Really? Where men averaged about 5.5 feet. By contrast, today's tallest man measures 8 feet 3 inches. Wow. Discoveries of the giant skeletons were found all over Northeast America, from Martha's Vineyard in Deerfield Valley, Massachusetts, to Vermont and upstate New York. Excuse me, I just belched, but I will totally... I'm going to edit that out. Or not. I don't really care. Other reports of the discovery of buried giants are also found in the South. No, fuck. Sorry. Hold on. I will edit that out. Damn it. Hold on.
You might as well just start over.
Words are hard.
Turned it off. That was my... I don't know why that's in here. I'm going to kill my husband. Anyway, moving on. It was a phone, and he brought it in here, and now he's going to die.
Like a time bomb.
Discoveries of the giant skeletons were found all over Northeast America, from Martha's Vineyard in Deerfield Valley, Massachusetts. I ran out of air there. To Vermont and upstate New York. Other reports of the discovery of buried giants were also found in the South, Midwest, and West Coast.
In the Ohio River Valley, a report from a local paper that was backed up by Scientific American found bodies of several giants buried under a 10-foot tall mound. One female skeleton was found holding a 3.5-foot long child. Another of the giant skeletons was buried in a clay coffin, and an engraved stone tablet was also discovered. This particular mound was 64 feet long by 35 feet wide. The Chickasaba Mound in Arkansas is another instance of the uncovering of giant skeleton under similar circumstances. The 12-square-mile mound had its name taken from the chief of the Shawnee tribe, who was essentially known to be a giant with incredible strength. Chief Chickasaba lived in that area of Arkansas, and when the mound was uncovered, the skeleton of a massive human was found. Subsequently, other skeletons up to 10 feet tall were unearthed in the same area, all with the same burial artifacts found with them. Some reports claim that the length of the skeleton legs to be 5 feet alone. That's just the legs. So I actually did read a report in the Evening Telegraph about it, and it was dated September 15th, 1870. So I found this on one of our library databases. But it was super interesting because it's basically from the perspective of someone living in the time frame with this chief. So, you know, this woman was like, oh, I know. Everybody in town knew this chief. He was, you know, a big, huge, tall guy. And they have found his remains. And so that kind of proves that he existed.
Oh, wow. Well, that's some cool extra research that you did there. So, yeah. So while stories of this nature sound fantastical, there are numerous reports of skeletons of the same size appearing in the New York Times and other reputable sources. The majority of these records occurred during the mid to late 19th century, and it's possible that awareness of both the mounds and giants were common knowledge during this time. There is even supposed reference to it from Abraham Lincoln. In a written account of a speech that he was preparing to give at Niagara Falls, he wrote that eyes of that species of extinct giants whose bones fill the mounds of America have gazed on Niagara as ours do now. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Never heard about that.
Some people believe a prejudiced narrative was created to discredit Native Americans or portray them as savages, because if they were seen as having built the mounds, it would show them as mathematically and technically advanced. Subsequently, many of the mounds were allowed to be destroyed by settlers and farmers as America was colonized. Of course it was. Like, they gave a shit. Anyway, sorry, not to be salty, but no, we don't care. Anyway, we care now, but no, we did not care back then.
That's specifically why I was like, Christy needs to read this section of it, because I thought you'd like the conspiracy theories and the narrative against Native Americans. I thought you would have something to say about that.
Makes me mad because I know that. It's just like the mummies of Egypt when we were burning them for firewood. Like, how the fuck did you think, like, that wouldn't be something precious to keep? It just blows my mind. I just can't even. Can you imagine just being like, "Oh, look, mummies, let's make fireworks"?
Well, you gotta
same
keep
thing,
warm, you know.
Same thing with like quote unquote savages, that we would just fucking take everything that they own and their property and try to convince them that they're going to get something better somewhere else. Don't even get me started. Anyway, another conspiracy surrounding the disappearance of evidence regarding the giants points to the Smithsonian. I used to have that magazine. Anyway, within the ethnology reports of the museum, there are 17 cases of Smithsonian uncovering giant skeletons over 7 feet tall. The probability of a human growing 7 feet tall is 0.00007%, meaning they would have had to excavate roughly
dig them
up 2.5 million bodies to have found that many skeletons of that size. There are also supposed reports of the Smithsonian purchasing giant skeletons excavated by citizens, which then disappeared, never to be heard from again. The Smithsonian even had a division for exploring mounds, of which there is a written record of them uncovering giant skeletons whose bones crumbled to dust when exposed to air. Was this a cover-up by the famed museum, or did they simply dispose of a debunked myth?
Hey, well, what do you, as far as giants are concerned, because, a lot of these references that we're talking about, they're saying that, these people are over, 7 feet tall. But, when you look at, how the human body has developed, as time has gone on, there's no doubt that the average size person now is probably bigger, than a lot of people back in the day.
Yeah.
So basically, like, do y'all kind of feel like a lot of these, 7-footers or these tall people, if they were to go to an NBA game, they would probably just be floored. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the interesting piece that I saw on the show, and that is that there is a special group of people from Siberia, I think it is.
Yeah.
That were known to be giants, and that came over to America from the whatever bar, that are proven to have DNA in some humans, and that is they feel like they were not human officially. They were a subspecies and mated with humans, and they are the ones that are fantastically responsible for giganticism. Like they had, that was their DNA, and that they were this, like, I don't know if it was Siberia or where the fuck it was, but I saw it on the show where they were trying to figure out where this came from. And it was fascinating because they've traced the DNA to this subspecies of human that was considered giants, that they were all, if you look at the biology of their skeletons, is considered giants, 7 feet and over, sometimes up to 14 feet. And when you mate with,
that's crazy.
When you mate with a human, of course, it brings you down, because we don't fucking bring people down. And now, after all these years, when you have people suffering from giganticism or they're really tall, it is this, God damn it, it's this really good, I can't think of the name of it, but it's this really cool name. And I was like, damn, that's a really cool name, too, that they gave them, these people from Siberia or wherever they were from, these giants. And it's like, there is no denying it. It exists. There's the DNA. It's been named, and nobody's talking about it. And that is amazing to me.
Well, and that's kind of the point of this show. That's what captured my attention, actually. I was actually just randomly talking to my dad on the phone the other day, and he was the one that was like, and I'm watching this show, and it has that actress Megan Fox, but you know that giants are real, right? Like, that's been proven. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so that's when I started kind of looking into this. But I do have a theory that we're coming up to, and you guys kind of both touched on it right now. So moving forward, according to Snopes, so there have been, and I just want to acknowledge here, there has been a lot of hoaxes, and I know that We know that. And these are all theories based on my 1 day's worth of research. But a collection of photographs purportedly showing the remains of giant humanoids dubbed the Canaan or Nephilim skeletons have been making the internet round since as far back as 2004. But all have been proven to be Photoshop at work. However, extra large or gigantic apes were proven to exist. According to National Geographic, an ape known as Gigantopithecus was pretty darn big, and we have a picture of them reproducing. He's actually at the Museum of Man in San Diego, and he is big. So let's see. The fossils indicate that he stood as high as 10 feet and weighed up to 1,100 pounds. So he's a big dude. He looks like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Except
and then an article that I read in Natural History, and the article was titled "The Ape That Was," says that around 100,000 years ago, at the beginning of the last Pleistocene, ice ages, it went extinct because in the changed climate, its size had become a fatal handicap. So basically, something that large has a big appetite, obviously is going to need a lot of food, and it has a fast metabolism, this particular animal did. So coupled with the fact that larger animals do tend to actually have fewer offspring, there's a reason why humans give birth to 1 to 2, no more than 3 children at a time, as opposed to a dog giving birth to a litter. So having fewer offspring, the bigger you get, it keeps your population really small. And so they really weren't just destined to survive the changes that came with some of the melting of the ice caps. So this was seen in other animals, and these are animals that have been proven to exist, including giant sloths and oversized pandas, although I do want to note that the giant panda extinction was also brought about by excessive hunting, so good job, humans.
Well, yeah, and they also mentioned, like, mammoths. And all the other, like on that show, I'm sorry, I'm probably the only one that remembers it because you watched it and then lost your brain cells and then Yardley didn't watch it. But that was a topic was that in there, it was not the mammoths, but the other one, which is between the mammoth and the elephant.
Saber-tooth?
No, that's a tiger.
Megalodon?
Megalodon?
No, that's a dinosaur.
It was something. Anyway, it was the same thing, basically a mix between. And which then went extinct, but the same thing. So these oversized animals kept dying off. And then at some point we found our happy medium of all the, they're still going extinct. I mean, we're fucked. But I mean, again, as far as for the last, 100 to 200,000 years, we found an answer. And that's kind of what they're talking about, is that there were so many other mixtures of humans that we don't recognize. And I think that's fascinating, but keep going. Sorry. I just found that what? No. I was like watching the show. You guys have to watch it. I was totally blown away. Totally.
I look forward to it, but I keep going back to this picture of Gigantopithecus. You know how horrifying that would be?
No shit, right?
To see that thing.
Yardley, put a hat and those weird sunglasses on him with a symbol. Who the fuck he look like? Bingo!
That is that is insane. Like, you know how insanely strong and I don't know, you're just done for.
Oh man, we could go down a whole rabbit hole with theories of Bigfoot. Like, what if this thing didn't go extinct?
Seriously?
What if a very small amount of them are living somewhere and they're too smart to be detected? I mean, there's all kinds of rabbit holes that are kind of like bundled up in what I'm presenting to y'all today. So but my theory regarding this, so what if giant humans existed, but rather than becoming completely extinct, maybe they evolved into the humans we know today or something close to us? Or now, as Christy brings up, what if these gigantic things mated with the humans that we do have today? We don't know. But I will tell you, and this is kind of harkening back, Christy kind of touched on this in one of the things that she read, but there is the disease, gigantism, and it's rare. It affects only 3 in every 1 million people who are born, or 0.00, I think it was 507%. So, and this was actually covered in the show, which I do remember, that if you look at the number of giant-sized fossils that they have determined are human or humanoid, you would have to have a lot more people born that had this disease than you do today.
Yeah.
So somewhere this disease started mutating out. Like it's really interesting. The rate of
that was the thing, like they talked about, is it is literally traced back to these people, like they existed, and nobody's talking about it, and that was kind of like her point was, so this has been traced. These people existed. There's scientific evidence of this, and these people hearken from this, and then these people mated with these people, and this is what's happened is they created these quote unquote giants and they were talking about people that were as tall as like 18 feet tall, 12 feet tall, depending. And then they mated with us in the States and going down to 7 to 8 feet tall, because these people were like 5 feet tall. And then there's literal DNA evidence of this. Like it's all like, he was like, no, it's right here. And that is crazy to me. Like, why aren't we talking about this? I think there's just so much an influx of information happening and from all sides, from everywhere, that nobody's really paying attention to the fact that those things happened. And I found it I was like completely like, I want to watch all the shows from America's Lost Civilization now.
Yeah,
I haven't watched them, but
the topics are really interesting for the show, so I do recommend it. I think it's already started and ended, but check it out if you get a chance, y'all. But I want to ask you guys, so nobody's really talking about it. Okay, let's get on the crazy train and assume that this is all gospel, it's all true, and there was a race of giants that existed. Why do you think that that's not being shouted from the rooftops? Why do you think that's not accepted as a common, thing?
Not enough. Well, first and foremost, our attention span now is like a 24-hour news cycle. So I would kind of figure that if it was brought up, it gets lost in the cycle. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think you have to do things to pique public interest, but still, I don't think that if people knew about it, I just don't think that it would be able to stay in the news cycle long enough to really get a grip on public consciousness.
That's true.
If Megan Fox's hot ass isn't drawing enough public interest into this, I don't know what else.
Travel Channel. That's
Look,
part of the
can we
problem.
get who else is really fucking hot? I mean, what else do we need to do? Because literally, that's what you have to do these days. Like, they chose the right person. She's hot. If we could get some J-Lo,
or to be rude,
how about Beyonce? Can we pull some Beyonce? Would be the end all fucking be all of hotness and smartness and talentedness. So pull some Beyonce in there. What else do we need to do to bring attention to this? I don't know, but I mean that's kind of where we're at these days. If you don't have a good plug, if you don't have a good enough attention of it, it's really just left to us random outcast podcasters to bring attention to it.
Well, how many people do y'all really think would care, though?
I care
that it would be a super big deal. Do you think a lot of people would care like that, though? I mean, I just don't think that people's attention.
Do we care that Pluto's not a planet anymore? Nah, that was a while ago. But I'm just saying, like these.
You know what? You have a point that we care about the most ridiculous shit. But we don't care about planets or the past or literally the country going down in the toilet. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like, I'm just saying, I
can see this
get
on Twitter. Listen, I can see this on Twitter and somebody posting about giants still existing, and then the whole thread is going to be, but can he dunk, though? You know, it's going to be shit like that.
Yao Ming is making more sense. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be like, that's cool, and then I would move on with the day.
Honestly,
is
this the downfall of our society? We have so much information.
It's idiocracy in motion, y'all.
We have so much information that we're missing the information.
Overload. No, they were saying
those people, then fuck them. I already see what people are saying,
Yeah. Bizarre States. Sorry, we're fucking creeping it real. Bizarre States, another podcast that is good in our space, was talking about aliens, and they had like all this evidence that aliens existed, and they're like, this is actually from the FBI files. This is actually from the CIA. Like, they have this stuff, and they're like, well, why doesn't anybody know about this? They're like, like we're trying to shout it from the rooftops that aliens exist and we have proof, but nobody's listening to us. And I was like, it's a conspiracy. But now that I hear you guys talking, I'm like, meh, it's because everybody's like, wow, that's neat. Moving on.
Yeah, because it's not on fucking Twitter. It didn't create like a buzz. It didn't go viral. I mean, that's the sad part.
They didn't go viral like Kim Kardashian's ass or whoever's cheating on who in that whole shenanigan. So, and on that note,
it's the truth, though. I mean, what
it is.
It's the sad point of where we're at here that we have to figure out how to communicate things and be like I'm sitting here telling you when I walked out of this show that I believed what these people were saying. I mean, they were Native American. They had all the evidence in the world, and the other people from as far as science and other countries saying, "Oh yeah, these people existed and this happened." Crickets. Like this would have been huge news 10 years ago. Nobody gives a fuck right now. I mean, that's just so sad. So it's. Yardley brought attention to something that's very true. Like, nobody gives a fuck. And I think that's what our podcasts are for. I think that's what we're doing, is there is a down low piece of people that do care. And these are the things that they're going to listen to instead of getting on Twitter looking at Kim Kardashian breaking the internet with her ass. So...
Anyway, and also seen that, like, next. Anyway.
Right? Who hasn't seen that? I saw that when she was getting pissed on. Like, I need to see that every fucking year. Anyway, moving on.
It wasn't as surgically enhanced back then. So
even better then. I like more natural shit than that.
Yeah, I saw some good. Anyway, in Vegas. Bigfoot. Let's roll into what we're talking about next week, girl.
So you inspired me. I have been looking for subjects. I was not happy with any of them. I had a really shitty day. Today I was like, okay, today I knew it was the show. I'm going to find the subject. And I just didn't have time. And I didn't like anything I was thinking about. And I was irritable and I hated everything. And then you said that and I was like, yes, that's it. That's what I want to discuss. I don't have the ins and outs just yet, but that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Bigfoot next week.
Bigfoot. Like Harry and the Hendersons, Bigfoot? Or like he exists, he doesn't exist? Like, what's our angle, yo?
He exists, first of all, yo. Y'all, come on now. You don't know me. You know me by now. Of course he exists. Yardley, you be quiet. Anyway.
That's what he does.
Yardley will hopefully have lost so many brain cells next week. He'll be like, yes, you're absolutely right.
Whatever.
Bigfoot exists. I'm just here drinking my whatever the fuck you drink. I know you drink whiskey, so you're going to have a good time, and I will make it easy for you, Yardley, I promise. And we're going to have a good time. So
she'll be gentle.
She'll be gentle.
Cool.
Social media. I would first of all like to be shouting out because I'm drunk, so this is going to be fun. You can switch your breath. No, all I got to say is, oh my God, y'all, just so great on your social media, interacting, responding. It's awesome. Thank you for all your contributions and the funny stuff that y'all are doing. It's great. We enjoy it. So thank you.
Heck yeah. So where can we find you, Christy?
Oh, yeah. I am on Twitter at creepin_it or the Creepin' It Real show. Wow, I can't talk. And then Instagram is Creepin' It Christy, and that's it. Or I do contribute. God, I cannot talk. I am so sorry. It has been one of those days. My lips are numb. I've talked so much today. I also do contribute on Facebook for a time or two, but Moni mainly runs that page.
Mainly, but obviously Yardley's there too because we're double posting the it thing. I was like, jinxies. Okay, so speaking of Yardley, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at militant_marker.
And you can find me Rebel Moni on Twitter and Moni Bear on Instagram. Although, be cool. Don't send me I'm going to say it and then I'm going to get a million those weird, follow me for weird sex stuff on Instagram. I don't like that. So don't do that.
Oh, okay. I'll resend mine then.
Darn it. Well, if it's actually you, but if it's not you, then no.
I'm just kidding. I've motor voted those. I've motor voted. Motor voted should be a thing, by the way. Motor voted.
I voted for the moted. I don't know what that means.
Motor voted means I voted for the best tits ever. But anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Already.
Just shut me up. Just shut me up now because I'm going to.
It's how we get the titties at the end of the show.
I motor voted. Just stop.
Me? Yes. Yes, you did.
I did motor vote you.
And it was good for both of us. And on that note,
oh God.
Creep It Real. Thank you for being one of our listeners. And have a good day, week, month, or even your year, because we'll be there for you in the form of podcast.
Till the next time, creepers.